Good morning, guys. It's April the 26th. I'm Henry Green from London Trading Group, and let's run through what we're going to see happen hopefully in the markets for today. Okay, so 12.75 I had as quite a good level in euro dollar. We rejected off there quite nicely, and now what for the play? Okay, so what I'm actually thinking is I think we have one little burst up. I prefer us to hit the 38. I mean, we got close, and if it doesn't, I'd probably count that as a 38 hit. But I do like euro to come off here from here. So how are we going to play this? Well, on a 15-minute chart, there's not really a lot to see. For me, it's made that higher high before going through the lows, so this has to be left alone until it makes a lower high, and then through the lows, then you can consider it at the moment. And I think that this then opens up the bottom side, and I'm looking at a first target down at the 127, which will be down at 111.70. Yeah, which lines up quite nicely. I've got a level at 111.60, so maybe we get there. That gets the custom moving average in as well. The 200 on the day comes in around that zone as well, so maybe we get that push down, and if we do get that a real push in the euro, then we might actually extend down to the D down at 111. So it's just a case of where is this going to stop now. Last week was very bearish for the euro, and as such I think we're back in that range, that sideways range. I did like euro to go higher. I just don't think it's ready yet now, so this isn't a retest because it looks like it's broken back through on the week. So I'm just looking at my weekly chart, so yeah, it's gone back through it now, so that's not it's not a retest, and for me this is just back in the range. So you've got to look down to the bottom side of this range, so that's down towards 111.50 and then potentially lower. So just got to play euro as you see at the moment. We are just still in this huge range in the euro, so you just got to play it from one side to the other. We are currently towards the top side, so the shorter side has to be the considerable weighting has got to be given to that side. Okay, cable, let's have a look at that one. Okay, cable, right, so we had another quite a good day yesterday in cable. We rejected from the lows and went higher. We have stopped. This was the prior month high up here at 141, well, 145.13. Rejected nicely off there, but we are now holding again, and this 21 moving average is being respected quite significantly. So I do like the top side in cable. We still look like we've got a little bit of a rally in this one. The D on the day takes you up to 145.60. I've got my weekly chart saying 146.18, so maybe we do get a bit of a push up towards the 146 zone. I'd like it to get up there because I think leading into Brexit, anywhere above sort of 146 is a great zone to be looking for the shorts. And yeah, I mean that's complete of the 38 on the weekly chart as well. So I'm going to be looking for this to push up now. We've not had a pullback to the 38, so you expect this to fail at this first zone here, 145, between 145. 60 and 145.80, so I'll be looking for any sort of fail there for potential short, but other than that I think quite a comfortable buy up there. If not, I'm going to be looking for a buy down here at 144.30, which is actually a really good level of support as well. So maybe we wait for that pullback. If you do get that pullback into 144.30, that becomes a really good buying zone. This moving average here might have caught up by then, so let's have a look what this is. The 105 moving average on the 60-minute chart might have caught up by then. If we do get that pullback into sort of that zone, maybe a rejection from there, and that becomes a really good buy zone. So I think cable is an interesting play. You could get that quick move today and we go higher. This high low here, nice rejection off the 50 on the 15 and up through sort of 145. I think that's probably a buy. And then, as I said, you're looking up towards 80, 145.80 as the first target in cable. So that's quite an interesting one. It looks pretty bullish on the week. Nice bullish close in cable. We just bang at this weekly moving average out here, the 17 moving average on the week. Respected it quite nicely in the past, but we have just kind of bounced back off the support at 144, and now potentially we go higher in cable, and that's what I'm going to be looking for. So I've got both sides of that one covered as well. Dollar yen, I like to be a buy this week, so I'm only looking to buy this really. We had a really good day on Friday. We'd just kind of come off a little bit yesterday, but now I think that this is just looking for another opportunity to get into this on the long side. So let's just get rid of a few of these lines so it makes it a little bit more straightforward, because this is the current trend line we're on here, this blue one that you guys can see in at the moment, and all you're looking for is high probability zones to get into this. Well, this 50 is a good one. It looks like it's holding nicely, so any rejection on here on a 15, maybe an initial position, and then look for this to go through the highs. Nice fib sequence continuation of this, no pullback, and then we hit the D, so we could just get this to hold here and then go. If not, 110.20 is my next level lower, which I think probably takes the A out. Okay, yeah, so that kind of ruins the idea if it goes to 110.20. So hopefully it doesn't get there. Other than that, I think a rejection around here, and then to look for this one to go higher. On the week, it certainly looks that way. I've got a level at 110.60. Yeah, 110.60 is a good level on the weekly as well, so we might get down to that before rejecting. So a few ideas in dollar yen, but certainly I favour the long side. And how I'm going to play this is I'll either take a position there when it rejects off the 50, if it does so this 200 on the 15 down here, or if it gets down to 110.60, which I think is probably a high probability zone, I think that's probably when I'll have a little bit of this. And I'll probably buy some at 110.60. Good level of support there. You've got a 15-minute sub D. Let's have a look what the hourly's saying. This might give us a bit more of a clue. So if we just put the fibs in on this side as well, often it will complete one on the bottom side. So where does this take you down to? Yeah, 110.55 area. I think that's probably a high probability zone. So maybe an initial if it rejects off the 50, give it some space. Another initial when it gets down to 110.60, and then potentially see this rally, and you'll be in at a good price. So I think that's probably quite a good play in dollar yen today, and probably what I'm going to look to do. Dollar CAD. Just went sideways, gone sideways again today. We're saying that this could potentially be the bottom. It's kind of, on the day it's the 127, so you expect it to have an initial hold here. That trend line's out, so we're currently on, well no, we're not in this up fib, this is out as well, so we're just going sideways. Now how could you play this? Well, what you could say I suppose is that we're at, if you put, I don't know where the 60-minute fibs are leading us. Okay, so we're leading, yeah, quite significantly lower with the fibs. We're at the 127 on the hour as well, so pull back to 38, but that is the 127 hit. And now potentially we see this go lower. So if you get a lower high on 15-minute chart and go through the lows, that's when we could see this significantly sell off. And it looks like there's quite a lot of free space on the short side, and I think that's probably the easier play. So on the 60-minute, I'm looking down significantly lower in this one. You might get all the way down to 124 sort of zone. I think it's the high probability zone for a bounce in dollar CAD if it were to sell off. But other than that, I think we're at a good level here, and we could now see this rally, especially after the kind of consolidation that we've had, which we haven't ever previously had at any of the levels. It's always been a reaction and then another reaction in the opposite direction. So potentially we see dollar CAD come off today. Potentially we see dollar CAD further go sideways, and if not, and if it goes up through the highs, then I think we see this potentially rally, maybe up to the 21 moving average, up at the 128.65. Okay, Aussie. So the Aussie's just kind of grinding lower. We do like this to go higher. It went through the 127, so that's a break now for us, and it's pulled back. The rejection from the week wasn't the nicest and such. I think that's why it's kind of going sideways at the moment. On the fibs on the hour, we are just stalling. We've stalled just below the 127. Looks like this is going to be a lower high before then going through the lows. So the target on the short side at the moment is 76.70. If you have that trend line in, we could potentially play it out to that trend line. So I've got this one in here, so we maybe see a bounce around 76.80. But this one for me isn't one to play at the moment. I like the long side of this one, and so that's what I'm going to be looking for. Maybe good areas to get into this as a buy, and I'm going to be trying to find some high probability zones in Aussie. But that rejection from the week kind of puts me off this one a little bit, and I think it could just go sideways as a consequence of that weekly close. Okay, Kiwi. So finally the Kiwi. The Kiwi held nicely. Rejection, horrendous rejection really on the week from that. It got up towards 70.70, which is where I kind of had my box. And as such now, I think this could come off. It looks like it could go and form a head and shoulders. So if you get a rally up towards 69.15 area and you get a rejection up there, then this could be the forming of a head and shoulders at a nice high. And then you get that sell off. So on the 60-minute, we've had this sell off, and now potentially we're breaking through. So this is the trend line that I'm going to have in. So what I'm going to do, I'll just quickly zoom in to put this trend line in. So if you just have this one in, I think we're probably right at the outer trend line at the moment, or gone a little bit through it. Yep, so a little bit through it now. So you might see this first bounce, and you could see this fib have a first rally. We're looking for 69.16 as the head and shoulders target. So if we just put this fib in, let's see where that takes us to. So got the first one there. Pull back a second here. Again, it's not very deep. Okay, so if you get a normal retracement now, where does that take you to? 69.16. Wow. Okay, bang on the level. So if you get a pullback into here, I think Kiwi could be good for a buy. It's rejected off the 21 on the way down. So if you get a rejection at 68.66, which makes sense, then you see that rally up to 69.16. That takes you back to those highs, and I really like that as an idea. I think that's a really good one. Those fibs line perfectly up with that one, so that could be a good one for today. Okay guys, I hope that's been useful. As I said, I'll be back tomorrow morning for more market analysis. Click subscribe to never miss a video again, and I will see you tomorrow. Happy trading.